You inspired me in the hostel.
That's
you
cute.
Came...
Thanks. I like to hear that. That's cool.
You did that because you showed me the pictures and I saw the enthusiasm. Never really considered doing the West Coast.
Yeah, like many people don't consider. Yeah. That's the whole point why we're making this video.
This is the
making
point.
Sure.
Exactly, making sure that you guys are not missing this out, because
True.
the West Coast, in our opinion, is one of the greatest experience that you can do on your whole Australia trip. I would say...
We're right back into it.
Yes, we should...
Well, first of all, cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. You are probably gonna start in Darwin.
Right.
And drive down to Perth, or the other way around. In my opinion, if you do an Australia road trip, you should do the West Coast at the very end.
Yes.
Because...
Yes. You save the best for last. And also, if you've done a lot of traveling around Australia, it's nice to have all of that experience combined, and you can use it in West Australia, because it will be the toughest one.
Yes.
It will be the most challenging road trip in Australia.
There will be things happening.
True.
Your car can break down.
It did for both of us.
It did for both of us, and
yeah, it's a very challenging road trip, especially all the off-road parts.
Yes.
It's a long road.
Yeah.
Starting Darwin to Perth, the other way around. You take at least 10,000 kilometers. Which huge chunks will be off-road. So to start off this introduction on the West Coast road trip, if you want to do it, if you're planning on doing it,
you need a 4x4.
You need a 4x4. You can do it without. You definitely can.
But you will miss out.
You will miss out on
spots.
definitely. So you will miss out on the Gibb River. You miss out on Francois Peron. The most beautiful
Purnululu Nationalpark, Cape Leveque, and these are the top spots on the list.
So there's a lot of spots around the West Coast.
Yeah.
We've written down about 18 of them. We will go over all of the 18 spots right now. We'll fill in a little bits and pieces and more on top of that 18. And I would suggest we just dive right into the first one.
I would say we start with the basics. How long should you spend along the West Coast?
Well, I've done it in about a month. And that was with a little bit of a rush, because the car, we had a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. It was actually not mine. If my mate Fabian is watching, shout out to Fabian for buying the car so that I didn't have to. He actually had to meet up with his brother, and so he had to be in a little bit of a rush. I would suggest you take, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 weeks. How long did you take?
I did 5 weeks.
5 weeks? Yeah, I think that's sweet spot, 5-6 weeks.
And I feel like we did everything along the way. Like we didn't were in a rush. Right. You should plan around 5 weeks. That brings me to the next point. Where should you spend more of your time? You've been already talking about the Gibb River Road.
Yes.
Definitely one of the probably most ambitious things you can do.
For me, it's the most ambitious trip I've made in Australia. It's 1,500 kilometers of pure gravel and off-roading, and it's ridiculous. You should think about the steps you're taking and calculate how many kilometers it's going to be until the next gas station. I personally made this mistake about doing the calculations wrong, and then ended up driving back to the gas station we were before because we didn't take enough fuel.
Don't lose your jerry can on the way.
Don't lose the jerry cans. Take extra jerry cans. There's going to be a whole list of things that you need for making such a long trip. Which include extra water, extra food, extra tools, extra parts. Like you take a spare tire, not just a spare tire, but you take tire plugs and stuff like that, extra bolts. But I think we talked about the basics so far pretty well. Let's just start straight into Darwin.
maybe like a little the best time to travel, the best month, which is about European summertime.
European summertime, yeah.
Yeah.
So anywhere between June and like October.
Yeah.
October is pretty late. I
Yeah.
wouldn't start in October anymore. I would start, August-ish at latest.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe September-ish, but that's about the latest time. Because then when you're running towards European winter, so
Yeah.
Australian summer, the rain season will start. Then the Gibb River Road is going to be impossible to cross.
Impossible,
There's going to be water everywhere.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Maybe another thing before we dive into it is how much money you need to go on this journey. This is always difficult to answer because everyone has a different travel style, so it always depends on how you how do you travel, how do you stay, how long do you camp, do you go into national parks, because these are also tiny
the national
costs,
parks are a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
It depends if you use a lot of free campsites or paid ones.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I did the calculations when the time we met, and for me it worked out as a pretty regular month in Australia.
Yeah.
So again, we talked about this in another video, between 1,000 and 2,000, so 1,500 euros and 2,000 euros, because the main cost of a trip like that is just gas, really.
Yeah.
You're gonna drive 10,000 kilometers. There's gonna be a lot of gas.
Yeah, yeah.
A proper Land Cruiser does like 1 in 10 or 1 in 9,
Yeah.
1 in 8, 1 in 7 if you're unlucky.
Yeah.
Especially when you're driving with your differential locked and tires on low pressure.
Exactly.
You're gonna use a lot of gas, so that's gonna be your biggest cost.
Yeah.
And just food, because you're in the middle of nowhere. Food is expensive. Water is expensive.
Yeah.
So I would say, do you agree with that? Is it about the money you think you spend in a month?
I would agree with that. Yeah. But otherwise, when it comes to money and finance, we did another video where we talked about
Just
like
the
the general spendings you're probably gonna have in Australia. So I will put the link somewhere here. Let's look for it. Maybe here.
I think I saw it right there.
Oh yeah, I think.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful. So yeah.
All right.
So
the intro is long enough. Let's dive right into it.
Let's dive right into these spots.
Darwin to start with.
Cheers
to start with.
Cheers to start with.
So Darwin to start with.
Darwin, yeah.
A pretty big city for the Northern Territory and the West Coast.
Yeah.
Actually, very fun city. I would definitely suggest, if you go there, spend a couple of days there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the YHA hostel over there in Darwin,
Okay.
the Melaleuca hostel. Have you been to that one?
I actually can't remember the name of the place
That's,
I stayed, but it was very central.
Yeah, that was probably the YHA. They had a pool outside.
Yeah,
It's YHA. It's probably one of the best YHAs I've been. YHAs are known to be very boring and very clean.
Yeah.
But this one was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely spend some time around Darwin just to have fun. And
Yeah.
The very first obvious thing to go, good one if you don't have a 4x4, is Litchfield Nationalpark. Much used by tourists and much used for day trips. It's very close by. There's a lot of asphalt everywhere. It's very pretty and very reachable.
Yeah. Beautiful waterfalls.
Beautiful waterfalls,
Yeah.
beautiful nature. But if you do have a 4x4 like you should on the West Coast, go and do Kakadu Nationalpark.
Yes.
For me, Kakadu was the first national park I went through, and it blew my mind.
Yes.
I just worked for 3 months in Brisbane, just flew there, just got ready. We went to Kakadu first thing, and it was amazing. It was very, very pretty. There's a lot of crocodiles everywhere, mind you. Saltwater crocodiles, they will eat you. So be careful where you swim. Just it will be noted when there's crocodiles in the water. Just don't go in the water for fun when it says that there's crocodiles around.
Yes.
Don't fucking do it. Just don't. And otherwise, Kakadu was very, very pretty.
Yes. There's especially one viewpoint. I can't name it right now, but we're gonna blend in a picture of it here.
Right.
It is an amazing view, and just reminded me a little bit of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think a lot of the scenery around the West Coast reminds me
Yeah.
of a Jurassic Park. And if we talk about Jurassic Park, definitely gonna move over to Nidmilk. It's around Katherine Gorge. Very pretty area where a lot of people do canoeing. Have you done any canoeing over there?
I didn't do it. I just saw it from above.
All right, so we did. For me personally, we did the like massive tour with the canoes and very pretty. Again, watch out for the crocodiles. I'm gonna say this quite a lot on the west coast. Very pretty. Talking about crocodiles. Lake Argyle. Lake Argyle is the second biggest water basin of Australia. It's huge.
It is.
I remember we rented canoes and the guy from the rentals told us to watch out for the crocodiles.
Yeah.
The water basin is fresh water actually.
Yeah.
A quick little biological difference between saltwater crocodiles and freshwater crocodiles. Saltwater crocodiles are very deadly, as fresh crocodiles aren't really deadly. So the Aussies always joke around that you can just swim around with them. That's what the guy told us at the canoe station. He was like, yeah, just go and swim around with the freshies.
Yeah.
And we did. We've been swimming around in this lake for about a day.
Yeah.
And by the time we canoed back, there was a 2-meter big freshwater crocodile in the water. So we weren't really sure if we liked it or not afterwards.
Yeah.
But it definitely made a few good pictures. Again, beautiful to see Lake Argyle.
Yes.
Massive and odd because it's so dry and there's massive lake, one of us. And then, so we have Lake Argyle.
Yes.
Lake Argyle going through the last like proper asphalted road and a city with the coals and all that stuff. Kananura.
Yeah.
Super odd place.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a travel town. Everyone just stacks up with like water and gas and tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did that as well. When I
Or
was
get
there.
your car fixed.
Get your car fixed, yeah, already. Not even a quarter into the trip already getting it fixed. Nothing too special in Kananura. Definitely your very last chance to make sure everything is alright.
Yeah.
You have enough water, you have enough gas, you have enough parts. Then starting on the most ambitious forward drive trip you can do in Australia, Gibb River Road.
Gibb River Road. Yes.
The signs on the start of the trip that says everything. Huge signs telling you to be very careful.
Yes.
Making sure
And
you're prepared.
You should take these signs very serious.
So how long did you take to cross the Gibb River Road?
I didn't cross the Gibb River Road completely. I just did the beginning. And here is here is a side note for people who don't feel confident enough to go on the Gibb River Road because, like we said, it is a very ambitious road. We did the beginning of it, and there are places like El Questro Wilderness Park. You get to El Questro Wilderness Park and a sealed road, and at least for the most part of it. Most part of it. There is a huge, nice waterfall area.
Right.
There are a lot of many good hikes you can do, many good day hikes, and these day hikes are probably the ones which are quite unusual because at some parts you will get forced to go through water, like very deeply. You need to carry your backpack over your head and walk on this hiking trail, which is not existent because it's just like here on the list. And the next one would be, and this is depending on how you drive. You can
we've both done a different way.
Yes, at this point you can do two different ways. The one which is the Gibb River Road and the one which goes south and where you come along a national park called Purnululu Nationalpark. And this was my most favorite national park.
We will just chuck in right now Matthias, one of Matthias' favorite pictures.
Yes,
it's very pretty.
I'm gonna blend it in here. It's
sick.
It's
a good shot.
It is one of the most fascinating places I've ever been to, and I'm pretty sure that I did one of my favorite photography there. Beautiful nature.
And I think the next one coming up is you've been to Wolf Creek.
Exactly.
You do the other way around. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watched the movie Wolf Creek.
I've heard about it.
This is the area where it happened.
Someone was kidnapped, something like that, right?
Yeah. It's a nice horror movie about it.
Yeah, go and watch it. It's good fun. It's not how straight it actually is.
Watch it afterwards. I don't know.
Point is, so both the end of the Gibb River Road, coming through Derby, and then the other side, it's Wolf Creek, and then all ends up in Broome, which is a very big, popular backpacking place. A lot of backpackers are there. A lot of backpackers work there because it's sort of seen as the last part of normal Western Australian society, and then you just come into a lot of nothingness until Darwin.
Yes.
Good place to chill out for a little bit. Charge everything that you have, make sure everything is still doing fine. We did a massive a car service, change all the tires,
find a friendly mechanic.
Yeah, find a friendly mechanic.
Car again.
We did it actually ourselves. We fixed everything ourselves.
Yeah.
We would swap the tires from left to right, change all the oil, gearbox oil, change all the filters.
Yeah, I had to buy a new tire.
Yeah, we also had to buy one new tire because it exploded. we fucked up the rim as well. We had to buy a new one as well. So that's a good place to make sure everything is alright.
Yeah.
Going through Broome, we already halfway.
We halfway, yes.
Halfway on the route.
At this point, if you like this video, if you found this content helpful, make sure to like, comment or subscribe to this channel. It would be appreciated. And if you have any questions, just write them down below.
We will respond to them.
Yeah, we will try to help as much as possible. Yeah. And so from Broome, you will come to a place called Cape Leveque. And Cape Leveque is...
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, it's unreal.
It is a landscape you barely see.
Yeah, we'll just blend in another picture right here. I know Mr. Matthias over here is pretty good at editing. Most of these pictures aren't as much as edited as you think. They look very saturated. They're really not.
Yes.
It's really red and really blue.
It looks
at the same place.
It looks very over edited, but it's not. It's just a picture.
It's rigged. So the thing is, not a lot of people go there actually, Cape Leveque, because it's a really weird D route. It's like a couple of 100 kilometers north from Broome.
Yeah.
And you can only turn back from that point.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the trip. It will cost a fair few dollars to get into the
enter the
park.
Camping fee and
it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, but
definitely worth it.
It is. Yeah.
For me, a little side personal story about Cape Leveque. We went snorkeling around Cape Leveque and we actually heard humpback whales. The noises they make on the water.
Yeah.
We were actually to experience those.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, live. That was pretty sick. For me,
amazing.
One of the most sick animal noises I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
It was just pretty far away. We can hear them. But yeah, Cape Leveque, definitely a good one. And then coming back down from Broome towards Karijini, you have 80 Mile Beach, which is obviously an 80 mile beach. It's a bit more than 100 kilometers just beach. Australia is famous for big ass beaches, and 80 Mile Beach is one of them. If you like to drive on the beach, camp on the beach, run naked on the beach, I don't know what you want to do on the beach. Huge
just
beaches.
Pretty beaches, just picture perfect. They are just beautiful. It doesn't really matter.
Chosen a good name for 80 Mile Beach.
Exactly.
Right as it is, 80 miles of beach.
Yeah.
And then it moves straight into is like a couple of miles after a couple of hours drive from there. Moving into one of the prettiest national parks of Australia. Yeah. Karijini. You've done some really good shots at Karijini. So do I.
One of my favorite spots in Karijini National Park was the tiny little waterfall.
Yeah.
It is so tiny and cute, and the form, and we can blend in a picture I did there. Bam! It was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful spots I've ever been to.
For me, it was the spider walk. The where you had to the really narrow.
Oh, that one! Yeah. Also did a picture of that. We're gonna blend it in.
That was sick.
Yeah.
I would definitely advise people to if you go to Karijini National Park, take a couple of days.
Yeah.
Don't go one day.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't rush.
You can stay in the park, in a national park, which is going to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper to get out of the park,
Yeah.
camp for free, and then go back in.
Yeah.
We did that a couple of times, which was good. It saved a lot of money. Karijini is sick. The gradients of color, it feels like the whole world is just saturated for a little bit. It's all super red, and everything is very intense.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It's a very unique landscape.
Definitely.
I would say. Yeah.
And then another few hours drive from Karijini, you end up at probably the prettiest coral I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
The area.
You're gonna drive first to Exmouth, probably.
Yeah, first Exmouth. Arrive at the Ningaloo Reef. Again, paying a fair amount of money to get into. I forgot what the name of the national park is where the Ningaloo Reef is in, but it's kind of expensive to get into the park. But best thing is you don't need a ferry, you don't need a boat, you don't need a tour to go and see the coral. You just walk out of the beach and just go and snorkel.
Yeah.
Definitely advise, again, take a couple of days in the national park, take a couple of days snorkeling, take your time around Exmouth and Coral Bay. I mean, we gotta start about our favorite national park at some point. It's the name that no one can say normally. It's Francois Peron
National Park. It is a beautiful national park for driving your 4x4. You're gonna drive through.
This is a big playground, really. Just full of sand.
This is a good.
This is a red dye playground.
Exactly.
Massive.
Yeah, you have this really nice saturated red sand.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And again, we're gonna blend in the picture I did. You're gonna see a picture of my beautiful feet in there.
Lovely.
And but it is insane how I've never saw this type of sand before, so that was amazing.
Yeah.
And the drive to the spot, I don't know the name of it, but you should drive to the top of the national park.
Yeah.
You're gonna reach a lookout. We're gonna have a very nice view on
isn't it the most
on a bay or
the
something
most
like
western
that.
part of West Australia? Isn't that the lookout?
I think that is
Right?
even the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's even the most western part.
Yeah, I think there's a little sign somewhere, but definitely Francois Peron skipped by a lot of people again.
Yeah.
Even people that decide to travel the West Coast skip it.
Yeah.
No idea why.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
And again, you need a really good forward drive. And you need to
Exactly.
be confident to drive on low pressure tires and really soft sand.
Exactly.
And that's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So be warned about that, I guess. Also in the same area, you have Hamelin Pool, Quokka blowholes, those kinds of things, all nice to see. And then if you're going down from the north towards Perth, then Kalbarri Nationalpark will be the first spot where you will actually start to notice that there's more rain falling. If you go to Kalbarri Nationalpark around September-ish, you'll be there for the wildflower season. Very pretty. You're walking through sort of museum. It's ridiculous, all these colors. And you actually see that the desert is leaving you behind, and you get back to sort of normal greenish scenery.
Very subtle transition.
Yeah. You have the is the nature window there? Right. The window. Sick, the nature window.
You're gonna take a lot of nice Instagram pictures.
Everyone is taking a picture over there.
Yeah,
definitely. So I think Kalbarri is pretty much one of the last ones before the Perth area.
Yeah.
You have the Pinnacle Desert. I hated the Pinnacle Desert. You didn't go there because it was really shitty weather.
It was rainy. The weather wasn't good, so we also skipped it.
For me, I saw so many nice things before that. It was just
the thing is the thing. I think it depends on which direction you're coming from. If
you come from Perth, it's great.
Have a look at it. It might be a nice.
And if you're there on a quiet day,
trip.
Yeah.
But if you came from Darwin and already saw so many amazing places, that one might be that exciting to you.
So moving down towards the Perth area, you get Rottnest Island.
Yeah, at this point you're already in Perth. You have your accommodation, you're in a hostel, and next spot you should go for is like
I would suggest like rest that down a little bit and then go back and travel Rottnest.
Yes.
Perth for me, probably my second or third favorite country city in Australia. I loved Perth. Very pretty, not very expensive, easy to get accommodation, easy to get a job. A lot of jobs around in Perth most of the time. Good place to buy a car if you ever wanted to buy or sell a car. WA plates.
Or to sell it.
Sell it, yeah. WA plates are worth a lot.
Yes.
We can explain that maybe in another video.
In another video.
Registrations, holy shit, that's a lot of work to explain.
Yeah.
But Perth, beautiful place.
Yeah.
I would say suggestion to go to Spinners, but I think by this time it's renovated and it doesn't look as cool as it did before.
So, hello guys. You have arrived at the end of the West Coast, but you also have arrived at the end of this video guide about Australia. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope we have inspired you to go on your own journey to explore Australia, the beauty of Australia.
Damn.
And do you have anything else to add to this guide?
Well, I really hope everyone enjoyed this series. I hope you took some knowledge from it, and I hope we inspired you to go on your own big trip. If there's any questions you guys have, just put them down in the comments, and we will answer them. And I think we can only really leave this series with one way.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And by the way, this is alcohol free. This is not sponsored by Heineken.
Is it not?
Because it is not yet.
Okay.
But Heineken, listen, we can arrange
us.
something.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Let's go. We're out of this place.
Let's go. It was nice to see you. Goodbye.